Hello, my friends. Today we're talking about networking and we're talking about four amazing experts who suggested me and taught me how to work with big networks, how to communicate with people despite the fact I am an introvert and I prefer meaningful conversation, smaller events, probably not to talk to anybody at all. And these wonderful ladies taught me a lot about how to feel comfortable about networking. And today I'm going to talk with you about how to build your personal brand with networking online and offline. I'm going to share with you my own experience and I'm going to share with you brilliant advices from amazing ladies. And I'm going to share the links to the interviews with these phenomenal ladies below, and you will be able to watch these interviews. So, let's start. My name is Voyevoda. I'm business and brand creator. People call me freedom coach and I love creativity. I love freedom. I love authenticity. I love to help women entrepreneurs to find themselves, brand themselves and show up confidently. In fact, I not only work with women entrepreneurs, but I work with authors, coaches, experts, people who love to show up on camera, teach people, deliver the message, change the world for the better. And I want to share with you my knowledge about personal branding and help you to become leader in your niche to help more people today so that the world become better place tomorrow. So let's start about networking. And I'm going to share with you the first three struggles which I had when I was thinking about networking. So initially, when I started my business, I didn't know what networking is all about. My meetings with unknown people were short to the fact that I was creative director, so I met many people like boards of director of the top companies in the world, and I just had to present them our branding concepts or advertising concepts or something like that. So well, it's not the same thing as networking because people expect you to deliver the presentation. So they listen to you, they have some questions, and they already invited you because they plan to buy from you. So, networking, on the other hand, is not about sales pitch. It's not about selling things which you have. It's about building relationships with people, and your goal is not necessary to sell. Your goal is most likely to build relationships and build referral partners and build friendship, in fact. So, networking is slightly different. For many people, it's slightly off because you feel like you spend 4, 6 hours a week and you see no result. For other people, or they probably enjoy networking a lot because they are extrovert and they would like to see more people and to communicate more. So these are very individual approaches. However, because I never expected to get into my business, into international networking, uh, I was lost. I was lost in the fact that I'm an introvert. I don't want to talk to many people every day or unknown people, in fact. I love very deep conversations, and surface level conversations is not my style. So initially, I was puzzled how to build connections which lead to business. But I was lucky because when I started my business, Facebook groups were thriving. So my first experience with networking were Facebook groups, and I loved them to a bit because honestly speaking, I met many powerful women entrepreneurs. The conversations in comments were meaningful until Facebook closed as usually all these ideas, and well, now groups are useless. And by that time, it was really, really powerful. People were genuinely connecting in these groups, and it was wonderful. And people didn't oversell. It was lovely. It was genuine. Now, what groups taught me? They taught me that you can communicate with people and build meaningful connections. They're not necessarily selling connections, but they can build communities. So idea of the community, how community can change the world more effectively than the individual, was really fascinating for me. So thinking about the aspect of how group of people can unite around the cause was a powerful aspect in that how I help people to build personal brands as leaders when we build community, when we serve community, when we put community above our personal interest, when we put the cause above our personal interests. This is when our personal brands become leaders. This is when the service lead us, and our personal brand become no egoic at all, because we are looking for the cause, we are standing for the cause, we really fight for something meaningful. So this is an important aspect for your personal brand when you work within the community. So when you start networking, you really need to understand that you are not getting into networking event online or offline for numbers. So there are plenty of people who just collecting the cards, spreading the cards, and they expect the conversion, which means they pretty much dealing with groups or Zoom meetings or offline meetings as if it's a fishing event or something like this. They just collecting cards, they expect conversions, they care less about people, and they do follow up, but they do follow up with an agenda which is not usually appealing to people who didn't build the relationships with you. And I want to start to introduce experts to you from these amazing experts. And sorry, it's turned. So it's Tracey Smolinski. I had wonderful conversation with her, and in the description I will give you the link to our interview. She is an amazing expert and the owner of Introbiz. It's a powerful community which is presented in many cities in the UK, in Cardiff, in Bristol, in Swansea, in Sweden, which is not the UK, of course. So she's really, really powerful, wonderful woman. And her book called Fortune is in Follow Up. She is, in fact, an author of several books, and the fortune in the follow up, this is her main concept. So, what she suggests, apart of the many amazing suggestions in that interview, that you really need to follow up. You need to look forward to connect with people genuinely, build these relationships, catch up with people. And this is how you build your business. This is how you build the connection, meaningful connections, which eventually lead to well being. And when we talk about the well being, it's not necessary money in your bank. Your well being is about great friendships. It's about great relationships. It's about people who can recommend you to someone. So it's about people who genuinely helping each other. So if you, like myself initially, go to networking events and you never ever follow up and you expect people will follow up, you miss something dearly, because when you're not following up, you're not connecting with people who you want to connect with. So, Fortune in the follow up, first of all, amazing book. You need to purchase it. Second, watch our interview and learn something about this idea. Tracy can teach you a lot, and I will not reshare the same information so you can really enjoy the interview. But this is the biggest lesson I learned from Tracy. You need to follow up. Now, the second lesson which I learned from another amazing queen from New York, LaChelle Adkins. She's mom of 15 kids and she's already a grandmom, and she loves networking. She also speaks a lot about mental health, depression, and how people can really lose themselves in business and authenticity and visibility. She has tons of phenomenal content. And in our interview, we were talking about collaboration. So, collaboration is another important part of networking. So when you think about networking as a service, and I often apply this idea to networking, is the fact how I can collaborate with people. So, how can I collaborate with somebody who I meet at these events? I often find the guests for my podcast. I often find people who I can create some connections or courses or some content because I think that I can serve my community in the best possible way by presenting wonderful people to my community. So, when you look at networking from the perspective of collaboration and service, you suddenly become less hunting or needy person. You suddenly become a person who is lovely to communicate, lovely to deal with, and it really works so, so well. Also, you don't need to be overwhelmed. Just be yourself during the networking, just enjoy the conversation. If somebody doesn't like you, it's all right. You're not supposed to befriend every single person on that event. In fact, you need to communicate and collaborate with people who are on the same wave as you are. So it will help you to connect with right people and deliver the great service to right communities. So find people who want to connect with you, who are in the same vibrational level as you are, and it will help you to enjoy events way, way more. And after all, my personal suggestion, I think it's about mood. When you get to the networking events, whether online or offline, if you feel anxious just before the event, most likely you will have that very anxious feeling during the event. You will feel uncomfortable, and then you will leave the event and you will be like, oh my God, I left it. Whew, done. Now, instead of that, imagine that you can appreciate the fact that you can find meaningful connection, that you can find people who you enjoy to communicate with. Imagine that you will love to be at this event. So, when this mindset aspect changed, you in fact may find meaningful connection and enjoy the event. Guess what? Your personal brand will be represented as that brilliant personality, brilliant person who genuinely care about community. People will remember you like that, and you will build the personal brand, which make way more sense. Now, our third amazing networking queen is Melanie Richards. Melanie Richards is my old friend and she is amazing. She knows everything about hybrid events. She creates events in the US, New York, and all around the US as well. And her suggestions was to set up the goal for the event. So I not share with you the all suggestions which these wonderful ladies shared in their interviews because I believe you can watch the whole interview. But I take the ideas which resonated with me. So when Melanie was speaking about the goal, uh, it rings something in me. So the idea is that when you plan to go to the networking event, you can set up the goal. Like, I want to connect with two people and have two meaningful conversations within 3 next hours. I want to have three meaningful connections and follow up and build three meaningful connections. Now, when you have this goal, you not need to share your cards or connect with everybody, do some sort of speed dating or something like that. You really need to find people who resonate with you. And I will also add to this story that if you will set up the goal minimum, medium, maximum, your events will be even more successful. So, for example, instead of having three meaningful connections within 3 hours, set up one meaningful connection within 3 hours. This is my goal minimum. 2 people to meaningful connections. Is my goal medium? And 3 meaningful connections. People who I will follow up, who will bring business to me, who I will bring business to. This is my goal maximum. Now, if you have the 3 goals, it will allow you to achieve your goal somehow, anyhow. And in this way, you will feel like an achiever. You will achieve the goal. And in fact, if you will build one really meaningful connection, it will help you, and which will help you to build the business. With the person who you are going to follow up, with the person who you will genuinely like, this will be really, really powerful change. So every single event, if you will build one connection per event, and you will have 2 events per week, you will have 4 meaningful connections in a month. 4 or 8 meaningful connections in a month. If these connections will be really deep and meaningful, it may create a lot of change in your business. So this is suggestion from Melanie Richards, and I will put the link to our interview in the description. She is an amazing expert, and I will absolutely recommend you to watch all the 3 interviews. And I'm going to introduce you to the fourth and amazing networking queen, Charlott McAnsh, and her episode not at the moment on the channel, but it will be there in March. And she was talking about support and listening. And I love this suggestion dearly because most of the time, when you get to the networking event, you expect that you are going to talk to unknown people. Now, as an introvert, you most likely prefer to not talk much and you love to reflect and think and listen. And here's the thing, when you are a great listener, it will allow you to get more from these people, and they will believe that you are phenomenal person. Because when you talk all the time, people feel uncomfortable. But when you listen, when you can reflect on that what they say, when you can be a genuine part of conversation, people would love to follow up with you. People would love to connect with you. And they will love to connect with you not because you are a number. They would love to connect with you because they had phenomenal conversation with you. So these are 3 suggestions for successful networking. 4 suggestions, sorry. First one is follow up, collaborate, set up the goal for the event, and be a good listener so that you can support the community. And suggestion from me, treat networking events like the service to the community. Build this collaboration so that you can serve to your community, and it will help you to build amazing personal brand because your brand is that what you're known for. So when you present yourself as a collaborative person who care enough to follow up, a person who builds genuine connections, a person who listens, people will love to share information about your business and your services, especially when you are genuinely like that. So I hope you really have something valuable from this conversation today. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about networking? What puzzles you about networking? And I would love to hear from you. How can I help you with this? And absolutely don't forget to read this wonderful book and connect with all the wonderful ladies from Brand Your Dream Show. Check the links in the description. Subscribe to this channel as well. And I would love you to share this video because it will help us to create better connections, better content for this channel. And I hope to see you next time in the next video. Until then, bye bye.